What if I told you that if you were a gamer, you have an advantage over most people when it comes to success and building the life of your dreams? If you've ever had a maxed out character in a video game, but you haven't maxed out your own life, this episode is for you. If it's your first time here, my name is Michael Riggs. I'm a full-time author, artist, and entrepreneur, husband and father of 5, and I teach men all over the world how to live fully optimized, leveled up lives. So if that's something you're into, if you want to level up every aspect of your life as a man, subscribe to this channel. And today I'm going to teach you how to reach the in-game content of real life. Stick around. Hello and welcome to the Warrior Kings podcast. I'm your host, Michael Riggs, here to assist you on your journey to living a fully optimized, leveled up life as a man. So again, welcome to the Warrior Kings podcast. It's good to have you here today. It's good to talk to you today. I hope that you are well wherever you're finding this, and I hope that you're ready to get inspired today. Today is a little bit of a different kind of episode. Today I'm going to be relating leveling up in life to leveling up in a video game, which is something that I've never talked about before. But before we get into that, married men, I have a free resource on my mailing list. If you sign up for the mailing list in the link in the description of this podcast or YouTube video, I put together 52 gestures that you can do for your wife once per week. These are just little nice things that you can do for your wife. Most of them are free, and this will help you level up your marriage over the next year. So sign up for that mailing list and that will be sent to you for free. 52 gestures that you can do for your wife once a week. I mean, it's not 52 of them once a week. There's 52 weeks in a year, so it's once per week. So a lot of you don't know this, but I used to be a hardcore gamer back in the day. I started with your standard console video games, and then I moved into playing MMORPGs in my early adult years. I started out with World of Warcraft, then I played Rift for a while. I don't know if you guys remember Rift. It was kind of short-lived. Some other MMOs in between that, and then Final Fantasy 14 Online. I played the heck out of that game. I was mainly a healer on there, white mage, but I pretty much played and maxed out every class in that game. But one thing that I realized is that if you can max out a character in a game like an MMO or an RPG, for example, you can max out your own life, and some of the same concepts apply. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's dive right into it. What are some of the advantages that you would have over other people when it comes to building success in life if you were a gamer? Well, the first advantage that you have is that you have patience and you're ready to play the long game, because if you've played any RPG or MMO, you know that it starts with the grind. You have to work your way up to level up that character, and it takes a lot of patience. Of course, you want to be the highest level player in the game, but you understand that it's going to take some time, and you have to start at those first few levels, like 1 to 20, just doing random tasks and going and killing 10 of whatever and bringing certain items back. You know, you have to do that grind at first, so it takes patience, and that's one advantage that most people don't have, because most people want instant gratification. They want everything to happen right away, which is why so many people give up. And it's like that in MMORPGs as well. You'll notice most people start playing them and then they quit after the first like 20 to 40 levels because they're not willing to do the work to level up all the way to the end game. So if you have actually maxed out a character in an MMO or an RPG, you have that patience trait, that willingness to play the long game to get to the end game content. The second advantage that you will have is resilience, because you will know what it's like to fail over and over again and try again until you reach your goal, right? So let's say that you do the same dungeon raid over and over and over again to get a specific piece of gear, or you try to defeat a boss multiple times. And we've all been there before. Those of us who have played video games before, you get super frustrated when that happens, but that builds resilience, and then eventually you can beat that boss, get past that point in that game. So that's the next advantage that you have, is knowing that if you get knocked down, you can get back up again and try again. The third big advantage that you will have is that you know how to manage resources and money, and this relates mostly to MMORPG video games where there's currency and trade and a market system and things like that. If you've dealt with these things in an MMO or in an RPG before and had to manage your money and build it up to get certain gear or craft certain items and things like that, you probably have way better grasp on money management and business management than most people do, and that is a real life skill and a real life advantage that you have over other people who haven't played these games before. Especially if you put many hours into these games, your brain is developed in a way that other people's isn't, those who haven't played games before. That's just a fact. The next advantage that you will have if you've maxed out a character in a game before is that you know what it's like to be the badass dude standing in town with maxed out gear and maxed out everything, that everybody's like, oh, look at that guy, I wish I could reach that point, right? So that's like the in-game game of life. When you level up your own life all the way, you become the example of this is what's possible if I stick with this thing. You become the inspiration. You understand what I'm saying? So that's another huge advantage that you have, is that you know that if you stick it out, if you keep working, if you stay true to the vision and the mission, and you stay true to your goals, then you will reach the end game. You will be that maxed out character, and that is possible in real life as well. Now, when I say that life is a game or life is like a game, just to be clear, I'm not saying that you can just do whatever you want. Of course, there are consequences in life. Life isn't like a video game. It's much realer than that. So just wanted to get that out of the way so there's no confusion. If, I don't know who's listening to this or watching this, I just don't want it to be twisted or confused. Of course, life isn't a video game, but I am relating it to that. The first thing that I want to talk about today when it comes to this is what we're going to call level 1, the grind. This is where you're going to pick your class. What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? What's your vision for the end game? When you level up all the way, what do you want that to look like? And that starts with designing your character and picking your class, right? Your class is, for example, I'm an author and a motivator, so consider that my class. That's the thing that I'm going to be leveling up. I'm Michael, and author and motivator is my class. And the cool thing about real life is you can pick pretty much literally anything. What do you want your class to be? Your class is like your job or your career or the vision for your life. It's finding your purpose, finding your calling, and then deciding to pursue that relentlessly until you level and max that out. So that's step 1, pick your class. Step 2 is designing your avatar or designing your character. What do you want to look like? Who do you want to be? Because honestly, you can do the same thing in real life. What do you want to look like? Is it going to take getting your physical fitness and your health in check? Is it going to take some style changes? Things like that. Like, design your life. You can be the designer of your life. So step 1, pick your class. What do you want to be? And step 2, design your avatar. Who do you want to be? And I think that a lot of people don't realize that this applies to real life as well. Look in the mirror, say, what can I improve? What do I want to improve about my physical appearance and the way that I present myself? What can I level up about myself? If you want to be a ripped, fit, jacked character in the game of life, then get into physical fitness and start eating right. If you want to be a super cool dude, find out what that means to you and then pursue that. Design your own life. Design your dream life. Design your avatar, right? Find your purpose and your calling. Decide who you want to be and then get started. The second thing I want to talk about today is what we're going to call level 2, your skill tree. In video games like RPGs and MMOs, you have a skill tree, right? And you have to unlock abilities along the way. You have to learn new things. Your character, rather, has to learn new skills as that character levels up, and the same thing applies to real life. So what you need to do is learn skills along the way, because knowledge is currency. Knowledge is value. Your wisdom, the things that you know, will turn into your income someday if you're pursuing success in entrepreneurship or success in anything in life, really. Even if you're something like a construction worker, the more skills that you have and the more knowledge that you have about tasks and tools, the more money you're going to make, right? So that's your skill tree. And many skills combine to your ultimate purpose. For example, I'm an entrepreneur, so I tried tons of different things over the years. And it wasn't until just recently that I realized that I was building skills over time with each of those small purposes that ultimately combined to be this one thing, which was my ultimate purpose, or what today we can call my ultimate class. So over the years, I was acquiring these skills, unlocking abilities on my skill tree that now in the end game, boom, I'm top tier character, right? So think of learning and obtaining wisdom as your skill tree and unlock as many skills as possible. Learning is everything. Read books, dive into content, learn everything that you can about your class in life. Whatever class you chose, whatever your calling, your purpose, your mission is, whatever you want to be, learn as much as you can about that thing. Pursue knowledge and wisdom every single day. The third thing that I want to talk about today is what we're going to call level 3, the market system. If you've played MMOs before or even RPGs, I promise you know more about money than most people do, especially if you went into the crafting classes and the market system. If you sold items, traded things, a lot of people don't get to experience that. So that definitely gives you an advantage in this life when you're pursuing success. Gather, sell, manage, accumulate, strategize, especially if you did the market systems in MMOs. You know how to strategize in markets and raise prices and lower prices and all kinds of stuff. It's kind of mind-blowing once you realize how much you know just because you played video games and then apply that to your own life. You have the ability to shoot straight to the top, trust me. And there is way more freedom and opportunity in real life market markets than there is in video games. In video games, you have one market, one system, one way that everything works. In real life, you can do pretty much anything you want. You can pursue any kind of business you want. You can trade any way you want. You can monetize any way you want. So let's review here for a second. Level 1, pick your class and design your avatar and start planning your future. Level 2 is your skill tree. Unlock skills over time that apply to your ultimate purpose, because knowledge is value. Knowledge is currency. Level 3, market system. You know more about money than most people do. And you can also pursue learning more about money in real life. There are tons of resources out there that are completely free now. Tons of resources online that tell you how to start and manage a business, how to be an entrepreneur, how to be an investor. You can learn anything that you want about money in real life, just like you can in a video game. And you already have the advantage because you've managed large sums of money before in a digital world. And the fourth thing that I want to talk about today we'll call level 4, which is level up. Get better every single day. Pursue greatness every single day of your life. Get better a little bit more every day. Like I said, if you've played these games before, you know that it takes time. A little bit every day. Sometimes you had 2 hours to play. Sometimes you binged and played for 8 hours straight. Leveling up in real life is the same way. When you have time, be pursuing greatness. If you work a 9-to-5 job and you have bigger dreams and your window is only 2 hours a day to work on building that dream, then take that 2 hours like you would have playing that game and level up. Level up the character that is yourself and max out all your stats. Your guild in a game is your community. In real life, this is the team that you're going to build from the people that you trust the most. And what you need to do is pick your team wisely, just like you would in a game. There has to be a balance. So let's say that you start a business. You're going to have skills that you bring to the table, and you're going to realize that there are skills that other people have that you don't have, and you need them to be doing those jobs, right? So this is like your raid team. This is after you have maxed out your character, maxed out your class and your purpose, and you're ready to move on to bigger and better things. Hire a team, right? Find your balance between classes and skills and then work towards goals together. And this will amplify your power and your success in this life. Just like in a video game, you can get pretty far by yourself, but eventually you're going to need a team to tackle those bigger raids and beat those bigger bosses, right? And everyone on the team benefits each other with their skills. And if you're one of those guys that likes to be a solo player like me, I'm pretty guilty of that myself. I totally get that, but now I'm at a point where I need to start building a team to make bigger things happen, right? So that's another thing that I wanted to talk about today when it comes to building success and relating that to gaming, is that eventually you will need a raid team to tackle those bigger missions and those bigger quests and challenges and to beat those bigger bosses. And the last thing that I want to talk about today is the end game. This is when you are that maxed out character just standing in town, having lower level characters run by and examine your stats and your gear, knowing that you put in all the time and the effort to get there and wishing that they could be in the same place as you. What does your end game look like? What is your dream life? Because it's different for every person. Maybe you want to be a multi-millionaire entrepreneur living in a mansion somewhere. Maybe you want to have a ranch and raise animals with your beautiful wife and just live a quiet life. What does your dream life look like? That's the end game. That's where the grind pays off and you realize what it was all for. And now you have the opportunity to help others level up and grow. You have the opportunity to teach others how to do it. You have the opportunity to run lower level characters through raids and have them join your team, join your guild. You have the opportunity to be the example and the inspiration. Now you have shown that it's not only possible to reach the final boss, but it's possible to defeat it. So what I wanted to tell you today pretty much is that you can level up in real life, just like you can level up in a game. And because you've maxed out a character in a game before, you know more about how to max out your own life more than other people do. And it's gonna take some time and it's gonna take some effort, and you're gonna have to do those lower level tasks first to build your character up, to level up the character that is yourself. And sometimes it's gonna be frustrating, just like playing a game and failing over and over again until you overcome that thing, until you level up enough to where that stage in your life, now it just seems so easy and you look back like, wow, I really struggled with that and now look where I am. So go out there, get to grinding, and level up your own life, because the end game awaits you. Your dream life awaits you. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope that this episode inspired you. I hope you got something out of this. I know it was a little bit different than what I usually do. This podcast is blowing up everywhere on all of the audio podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, places like that, but the YouTube channel is still struggling a little bit. So if you listen to this podcast, swing over, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You would really be helping us out a lot growing this thing. And if you're interested in extra extra video content. I post that on there as well. It's not just the podcast episodes. That YouTube channel is called Michael Riggs Official. Tons of content on there that you can dive into, as well as video versions of these podcast episodes. So get subscribed. Super appreciate it. Also, this podcast isn't monetized or sponsored right now. So if you want to help me keep doing this, there's a link down in the description of this video or podcast episode called Buy Me a Coffee, where you can buy me a coffee pretty much and connect with me and leave me a comment on there. And ultimately that helps me get new gear and resources for the podcast, helps me keep doing it, helps me keep going, keeps me inspired. Of course, I love hearing from you guys, so leave me a comment wherever you're getting this. And yeah, man, get out there, kill it, level up your life. I love you, I'm proud of you, and there are great things in store for you in this life. A life of overflowing abundance awaits you. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.